run.
You'll be faster.
I know who I am.
You know, I was really expecting to see some kind of movie trailer reveal at the Game Awards, you know? Sure, it's a bit more expected to obviously video game announcements, but, you know, there's a lot of adaptations these days. Maybe something of that Fallout TV series, or a hint for more Last of Us, I don't know. I was kind of waiting with bated breath over 4 hours. That, by the way, goes from midnight to 4 in the morning in the UK, but no, there was nothing. And with November mainly being the month for new movie news, I was kind of figuring that we were maybe at the end of it for the year. But no, there's this one little thing that squeaked out off to the side that I almost didn't notice entirely. Being someone who is trying to actually actively keep an eye out for things, this one almost slipped under the radar because, just like Under the Boardwalk, this is seemingly yet another Paramount project that they don't want you to know about. Kind of. It's not as bad as Under the Boardwalk, but we'll get into it anyway.
But we need you for what's coming.
Previously, we talked about this crab movie that barely got a trailer until 3 days before its release, and even then it was a limited showing and mostly just some junk mail to put on Paramount Plus. And unfortunately take down all of their cast with it, like Michael Cera up front and center. And now we have this, the Tigers Apprentice. Not exactly entirely original like Under the Boardwalk, this is being based off of a book. Based on the popular children's book series by Lawrence Yep with the very same name. But though Paramount must have released this trailer for us to be able to see it at all, when you actually look at the sources for finding the trailer, it's not actually Paramount themselves. Or at the very least, their YouTube channel is incredibly dormant. You can find the trailer easily enough, but it's on things like Rotten Tomatoes or Joe Blow animated videos. It's not the core source, and I don't think we're going to see it from them until, again, 3 days before. But what this looks to be is a nice sort of classical Chinese tale about martial arts with a little bit of zodiac magic going on. There's clearly the theme of the animals of the zodiac throughout the years, and this time, this guy's clearly representative of tiger powers. What does that necessarily infer? I don't know. Vague magic and martial arts.
Don't preach what you can't teach. Don't talk what you can't walk.
We see there's this main character, Tom. He's the apprentice to Mr. Hugh, who is representative of the tiger, and this guy has so much magical power that he can literally become tiger. Everything else is ninja moves that dodge spikes and stars, and is clearly leaning into some sort of martial arts tale, but it's just a teaser. You don't need to know too much else. The animation's alright. It looks pretty classical, but it could easily go in an interesting new direction. It's nice that it's not a sequel to something we've already seen, and though it is based off a children's book and so it's not entirely original, it's still a new adaptation to see on the screen. It's lovely. You've got a stellar cast attached like Michelle Yeoh, Sandra Oh, Bowen Yang, Leah Lewis, Ken Hua Tan, Sherry Cola, Deborah S. Craig, Joe Coy, Greta Lee, Diana Lee Inosanto, Patrick Gallagher, and Poppy Liu, and a couple others, as well as Henry Golding and Brandon Su, who, you know, it's a stellar cast, very similar to Under the Boardwalk. But here's the kicker, right? On top of the fact that this trailer hasn't actually been shown by some official Paramount YouTube channel, and, you know, maybe they haven't worked out their branding yet. Maybe they're just not very good on the YouTube front. It happens, they still released it somewhere, somehow. But on top of the fact that this is just kind of being made, and it's not getting too big of a stink, I mean, these trailers don't have a lot of views, maybe that's just a marketing thing, whatever. The other notable thing about this movie is the fact that even though it's coming out February 2nd, so literally just a month and a bit, this movie is not coming to theaters. It is Paramount doing Paramount things. Warner Brothers loves to create stuff and then delete them later. Netflix likes to make animation and delete them later. And Disney likes to make junk movies these days. Everyone's got their shtick. Paramount, I guess, are just trying to bloat up Paramount Plus, and they're doing that by stabbing their movies in the back. There is no movie release for Tigers Apprentice. It's going direct to Paramount Plus to collect dust off to the side.
Are you ready to begin your training?
Thank you for making it to the halfway mark. If you haven't already, come along and subscribe. Help us get to the lovely rounded number of 502,000 subscribers. Now, animated movie news is coming to a slowing in this final year, but if you want to hear about movie news or any of the other things we do, come check us out again in the future. Anyway, I'll get you back to The Tigers Apprentice, a real underdog of a movie, if you ask me, especially against its rivals in 2024. It's presumably a brilliant premise, it has a lot of popular attention to it if kids seem to love it already, it's got a stellar cast attached, and you ain't gonna notice it. I could tell you all sorts of details about the production team, how it's directed by Roman Huey, or that the music's being done by Steve Jablonsky. But this feels like one of those movies that'll just boil down to a trivia fact because I don't think we're gonna see this again. I think this teaser trailer is about all we're gonna see until February 1st, when maybe Paramount releases a main trailer, and by then it would have already come out, I bet. You can call me jaded if you want, but after seeing specifically how they handled their last crab movie, I do just think this is Paramount things. I don't think I can form a major opinion about the movie itself. There's clearly some cool references to Chinese iconography, and the animation looks a little bit more video gamey than movie-y to me, but, you know, that's fine. The dialogue and jokes are alright. I'm interested to hear about the magic system, since I do believe in the books you do learn of several other characters, like an immortal monkey with a staff. And I remember enjoying a lot of those kind of Chinese-inspired martial arts cartoons as a kid. I was a big fan of Shaolin Showdown, and of course the Jackie Chan TV series. Though at the same time, this teaser hasn't shown me anything interesting. You know, Tom Lee, the main lead, he's just jumped around. He just has the know-how to randomly dodge stuff. And apparently not even his apprentice knew he could do it.
Wait, how did you know I was gonna survive?
I didn't.
Alright, pretty generic, pretty standard, whatever. I'm sure it will develop into something interesting. The big reveal is the fact that the master becomes a tiger. He jumps in the air, he gets some furry lines all over his body that's totally just pseudo-cringe. But now he's in neon, and then that's it. Like, it's nice for like a guy's version of Fruits Basket, I guess, but, you know, whatever. I would be happy to promote it because it's more original content, but to me, this feels like in its early stages, this is another movie just being shoved under the rug. Just keeping clear the space for the big wig stuff, like the Sandy Cheeks movie coming in by the end of the year. It's, you know? Of course, with it coming out so soon in the year, maybe I'll be delightfully impressed. Maybe a proper trailer comes out sooner rather than later, the marketing really kicks into gear, and maybe it has a nice renaissance for Paramount Plus. I'm just a little bit jaded at the moment. I just don't see it happening. I really wish there was other news to talk about, to be honest. I've said my piece about the Fallout series. The Video Game Awards showed me nothing of note, and all we get is this. Underwhelming and staying that way, I assume. Ah well. At least on the cancelled side of my job, I've gotten so many notes of things I can handle, including a gigantic book from a bunch of rebellious animators that have revealed some of their cancelled concept art. So do look forward to that. But for now, I'll leave you off here. Let me know your thoughts on this movie. I mean, maybe it's just I don't care, leave it to the side. Maybe you're just as angry and jaded as me. Genuinely, what do you think? You optimistic or pessimistic about this movie? Because, well, you clearly know my side. And I'll see you in a little bit.